Holy crap! That was a big log I had to saw back there. Oh, you guys are here. Oh, hey, Eric Breen. Hello, Skip. Hello, Maranya. It is. Oh, see that? See, I got my phone on now too. It's going everything. I fell asleep with my volume on my phone. I apologize for that. Oh,
Happens to me all the time.
I was watching Avatar. That's for you, Ash. All right. So a little change up. Not really because Zach usually is busy till 9 o'clock anyway. But we have Skip and Tosh here for the second week in a row.
Yeah.
Don't get used to him unless you want to pay for the Kofi link. Then we have him here every week. We can afford him.
I need the money. Gotta
Yeah.
gotta pay to skip.
Usually to pay to watch, not to skip. I don't want to skip it.
You don't want to skip it? It's so fun if you
Dude,
skip
I
it.
love your camera, dude. Right now, I can see that. You're the only thing in focus. It looks like you're one of those current Marvel books. Uh-oh, did I freeze?
Nope,
I
you're
might have
still
froze.
on.
Hopefully it's not.
No, you're good.
Yeah,
You're
I
good.
froze. Dang it!
Oh, yeah, your picture froze, but I didn't freeze because like T'Challa. I never freeze. What's up, Undead Quinn? Good to see you, Maranya, Eric Breen. Good to see all y'all. Well, RDV seems to be frozen, and he will be back momentarily. But while I'm here, I'll just check in with y'all. And also, if you guys got any weekly books, please post them in the chat. As you know, we always like to talk about everybody else's books as well because we're sharing and a good amount of the books that, especially indie books that I have on my pull list. Quite a few selections I've gotten from people in the community like HR Goes Vocal, of course Eric Breen, suggests stuff, but Undead Quinn as well. So just make sure that you share your books as well, and then we will, talk about your books also as we're going through. As Yep, yeah, time for RDV to freeze. Indeed, as he's frozen, I guess I can go ahead and I'll share my screen, and let's see if I will be able to actually show it. Okay, no, I don't have privileges, unfortunately, to share my screen. Oddly enough, I should have just used my will it give me the other one? Nope. Okay. Yeah, I should have used my streaming software, and that way I could have shown y'all some. But you know what? Actually, I have my books next to me, so I'll just get started on those as we go through, and as we wait for RDV to get back. So, book number 5 on my list this week. Actually, I'll give an honorable mention. I picked this book up because it was a recommendation from Rockin' Robbie Billups, who is the person who runs the Pop Culture Philosophers channel. People like Eric Breen, who are slick buddies with Joe Corallo, will know that Joe Corallo often goes over to that channel and does live streams over there. So if you don't get enough of Joe Corallo when you watch the retrospectives that Eric Breen does over on Thinking Critical with Wes, then go over to Pop Culture Philosophers. Rockin' Robbie Billups is awesome. He's a manager of a comic shop. He reads tons of comics. And then he usually posts a video every Tuesday night of what he thinks about the comics that he read that came out that week. And usually there's about 20 plus comics that he goes over, the big two and tons of indies. He talked about this book, which, you know what? Let me maybe take off my blurring virtual background so y'all could see this. He talked about this book, which is Shaolin Cowboy by Jeff Darrow and colors by one of the best in the business, Dave Stewart. I did not get to this, and also I didn't realize when he recommended it that it was issue 4. I thought it was an issue 1. So I ended up just grabbing the issue 4 instead. And so I didn't read it because I wanted to know the rest of the story, but I did flip through it because one of the things that he talked about was how good the art was in it. And I can tell you, yeah, the art is pretty fantastic. It's really incredible. And the cover alone can give you a little bit of an idea of kind of what the art looks like. I'm trying to give it a little bit of light so you can kind of see some of the details in it. And I apologize. My better camera should be back in the next week, so you guys can see even more details.
I
But
apologize for me because I think my internet wireless card is dying.
oh, that even more of a reason to go Ethernet. Hopefully, StreamYard won't be mad at you for trying
I
Ethernet
tried
next
going with
time.
the Ethernet right now, and it wouldn't even let me. It would just it's just basically it said like, oh, if you use wireless, basically.
Oh
It's-
wow,
yeah,
gotta love Windows OS. um,
Windows 10, yes.
yeah. But on that note, so that was my honorable mention. Was Shaolin Cowboy by Jeff Darrow. But my number 5 book of the week is Space
Holy holy
Lady.
crap! Where do you find that?
I found it at the same shop that saved me a copy of one of my other books from this week that they held for me because the other book that I was looking for that I could not wait to come back out, it was shorted everywhere in my area. But when I was there, and I went and I looked and I was like, oh man, I hope they didn't put my copy back because there's no more of that other book. I walked past and I saw this, and I remember Ash one night on a stream with you talking about how much he wants to read this book and review it. And I found a copy of issue number 1. So I'm going to have my LCS order me a copy of issue number 2 so I can get current. And I'm definitely going to put it on my pull because let me tell you, this book, like what you think it is from the cover,
And I'm dead.
is pretty much what it is, but it's really fun and it's pretty funny. Like it's trash art, if you want to call it that, and it's a trashy book, but it's a good time. Like it's not too much debauchery, but there's debauchery, there's crude humor and jokes. Her spaceship that she rides in looks like a butt plug. It's pretty rowdy, but it's so much fun. It's lighthearted. It's a good time. It's extremely absurd. All I can tell you is I was very surprised by how much of a good time I had with this book. I did not have high hopes for it, but Behemoth was also publishing another crazy book that I was reading called Heavy Metal Drummer, which is funny because Eric Breen, I think Joe Corallo talked about Heavy Metal Drummer on the Four Color Fossil stream on the Graphic Man channel. And that's why I was like, oh yeah, Heavy Metal Drummer, because that was one of my favorite books when it was coming out. And I cannot wait for the sequel. That was also published by Behemoth. This Space Lady book is kind of right up there. It's like, if you enjoy like crazy B movies that used to come out in like the 80s and early 90s on into like even the 2000s, this very much feels like that. Like it's definitely got Tank Girl vibes, but it's even raunchier than Tank Girl, in my opinion. So
Nice.
my number 5 book is Space Lady. Ash, thanks for looking at this and just thinking how terrible it was going to be, because it ended up being, it's trashy, but it's good.
Like we were reading that. So she's a drug addict, and she makes her robot fight crime for her because she's too busy. She wants to sleep in.
She was a drunk. Yeah, she was like hungover and
Wow.
stuff. But yeah,
It's
she's
like
supposed to go fight crime. But yeah, she's like, she put in a hungover protocol, and that's what ended up happening. She shipped off all of her robots to do her job for her because she was hungover.
it's kind of like if Carol was still drunk, and she just wanted Rhodey to fight all her things for her.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that checks out. That's an interesting equivalent.
He's the closest to robot I can get.
I mean, he literally fights in a mech suit, or him and the Iron Legion, because he would need additional robots because she deployed like multiple. But
Right.
yeah, it was a pretty trippy book. Really enjoyed it. I actually wanted. I was considering putting it higher on the list, but I think it's a good spot for it.
That's cool.
All right, so
I'm just amazed that you found it. I'm like, that book is so I guess rare. It's not even on the pirate sides, bro. Like nobody bought it. Doesn't
wow.
even. It's like kind of whole Gun Honey. Gun Honey was the same way when it first came
At
out.
first, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but now it blew up. I don't think this
It's
book will blow up.
everywhere.
Maybe it will. Everyone who hears this now is gonna go buy one.
You know what? Like, it's funny. This is the type of book, though, that if people catch wind of like how absurd, but how much of a good time it is. And I've
Yeah.
only read issue number 1. Issue number 2 is already out, and issue number 3 is coming out. If those other issues are as good as this or any better, it could end up being one of those books. But the only thing is, I think part of also what attracted Gun Honey is Gun Honey, was like, really racy. Obviously had, the big boobs. So that's the other
Is it
thing.
like I say? You say raunchy. It's not raunchy, but I mean, is it like tamer than Gun Honey? Because Gun Honey it shows almost like near nudity, but it's always blocked by something.
Well, it wasn't. It wasn't always blocked.
Oh, well,
Gun
I
Honey
mean,
wasn't always blocked.
this issue of Gun Honey, like it would show a little bit. I mean, like, but it always her hand always be in the way, kind of like Austin Powers. This, remember the first one? It always had the thing objects in the way to block the view, full view.
I would read that issue again because it's not always blocked.
Well, I'm just trying to be modest here because
I appreciate your modesty, but Gun Honey didn't because it's way more. Now, Space Lady does not show anything, but it's like lewds versus nudes. Like it's a lewd comic book, but there's no nudity. Whereas in Gun Honey, there's nudity and it's fairly lewd at parts too. Yeah.
I mean topless women, but we're not seeing like Bush or anything like that, or we're not seeing full Monty that I saw.
I feel like I remember seeing Bush in the previous Gun Honey series. I'm down to
Maybe.
I'll
I mean, I would say maybe I would now it reminds you of that lesbian sex scene. Probably.
See,
comics needs less debauchery, more cafe scenes. What about debauchery at a cafe?
Yeah, this is funny. Yeah, these like, and the lady who does Space Lady. I mean, yeah, it's a lady, it's a chick. So I mean, Mariko Tamaki can take it up with her. But yeah, well, why can't we have both? Why can't we have debauchery in cafes? There you go, Mariko Tamaki. We can even make you happy. But moving on to book number 4, I got Detective Comics.
Only at number 4. Wow.
Yeah. Now I'll say this was a slate of good comics this week, in my opinion. But of the Rom V books that I read, and 3 of them came out this week, this one was at number 4. Now, this is very much an issue number 2. Issue number 1 was a fantastic introduction, had tons of fun with it. I think it was a really, really great introduction. Fantastic, Batman Detective Comics comic. This one, it goes more into like building the world out a little bit more. You get more revelations. I would say that of the 2 issues so far, my favorite scene is in this one, but the rest of the world building and stuff wasn't personally as interesting as me. Like I like the way that Rom V did the scenes, but the contents of the actual scenes, to me personally, weren't super compelling and weren't nearly as interesting in my personal opinion. But my hope is that he's getting those things out of the way so we don't get too many more scenes like that drag. But you definitely feel the decompressed nature of the series more in issue number 2 than you do in issue number 1, which, if we're going to go by the decompressed, Bible these days, you start off strong with the issue number 1, you get everybody in, you introduce some new stuff, you get some first appearances and all that stuff. And then in issue number 2, you ramp down a little bit, you shift the gears down, you start entering your act. Well, you enter the end of your act 1, and then you start moving into your act 2. So I did already see some preview art for the next one, and I'm pretty interested in that scene from 1064 that'll be coming out next. But 1063 was really great. It's still a quality comic. I do like. I remember Ashon Comics in his review talking about how he's not the biggest fan of Raphael Albuquerque. I do see a little bit more of what he was talking about, and that there is some unflattering art in some of the panels in this, while in so many other panels it's like exactly what it's supposed to be, and even some of the coolest panels that I've seen in Batman comics, like even cooler than the much better artist, in my opinion, Jorge. Is it Jorge Jimenez?
Jimenez. I have heard it multiple ways.
Okay. that he
I'm not
does
sure.
over in Chip Zdarsky's mainline Batman
Yeah.
book. But overall, still a quality Batman book. And I like the revelations that we get with it. And there's a scene that involves music, audio engineering, music theory, and stuff in this.
Yeah.
That for someone who has gone to audio engineering school and and is a musician and all that stuff and like knows music theory, that it was like a really, really, really cool scene. And not in a vacuum, the way that it affects what's going on in Gotham right now was pretty dope. But yeah, I have it as my number 4. All right. Moving on to my number 3. Department of Truth, issue 20. I mean, even like this is one of easily the most decompressed books that I've ever read in my life. And such is the story of James Tynion. He's from the school of Bendis, literally had Scott Snyder as his writing professor. Very,
How
very
dare you, sir?
decompressed book. Hey, you can stick up for Scott all you want to. All right. He is the NyQuil of comics. Although he's the sweetest flavor of NyQuil.
Wait. So when you're not
Sweetest
feeling
man.
good, he makes you feel better.
Yeah, as he rocks you to sleep, as you enter La La Land.
That peaceful sleep after you read his book, and you're content.
Oh, absolutely. Don't get me wrong. After I've read a Scott Snyder book, the rested feeling that I have when I wake up is fantastic. I mean, his books are definitely worth more than $3.99 if you're trying to get a good night's sleep. If you're trying to get a interesting comic book,
I'll
it's
still
not that they're not
say
interesting,
American
but-
Vampire. It's not everybody's taste, but man, it was a Western. It was, just basically went through the times, kind of like Pulp went through the times, the back of the West to the time periods.
Yeah, but just not as good as Pulp, because Pulp won awards, and I don't think.
Well, Pulp is
American
Brewbreaker. It's kind of unfair to compare anybody to Brewbreaker.
This is true.
Unless
And
it's
I'm
your
not
favorite writer,
fair.
Randy.
I don't fight fair, RDV. I fight to win.
Well, you are from California. You don't fight fair at all.
Play to win, baby. I don't play.
Or
to be
maybe you just buy books that are bad because they're in California.
Or maybe I buy the best books, like Department of Truth, which
We'll never know.
As decompressed as this book is, here's the two saving graces. Martin Simon's art is freaking phenomenal and fantastic, and I just can't get enough of it. And then on the flip side, it does deal with conspiracy theories, and it deals with them in a very interesting way. Now, I will say this book was very much a recap book, and the vehicle that he used to recap the stories was interesting enough, and it was clever enough, but still, like, this didn't advance the story very much at all. Like, I'm talking about like decompressed of the decompressed, but the way that he went about it and Martin Simon's art just makes the medicine go down in the most delightful way. So it was, in my opinion, it was more interesting and it was more captivating on a consistent level than even Ram V's detective issues. So it is my number 3.
Cool.
Moving on to my number 2 book. Ram V is at it again. Swamp Thing, Season 2, issue number 16 of 16.
Dude, if Ram V's Carnage is your number 1, that'd be quite a hat trick.
It would be a hat trick, wouldn't it? Would be a hell of a note, wouldn't it? But this book, man, I mean, Mike Spicer's colors, Mike Perkins' art, and Ram V with his philosophical, ethereal writing was just a fantastic combination to end the book. And I really, like, he was very intentional on how he ended it. I love the statement and the note that the book ended on. In the series of all the Swamp Thing runs that I've read, I think it's probably third best, especially with it being so short. I mean, the length of it doesn't necessarily mean it was better or worse, but I can say, like, it has a satisfying ending, but there was more story to be told here, and I do feel like because it was only 16 issues, even though it got extended, initially it was only going to be 10 if I remember correctly. So it got extended to 16, but I do wish that it got to like 24 and there was more space to just kind of explore some other things and go away from the main plot, because those are some of my favorite issues in long runs of comics, whereas like there's this overarching plot, but then there's like, this, fantastic voyage, if you will, completely on a whole nother note. And there was an issue with Constantine that kind of did that a little bit. That was like one of my favorite issues. And then there was another one with, dang it, who's the dude from the Authority? Something, his name is something more. I can't remember his name right now.
Terry Moore. I know. It's gonna...
Hawksmoor. No, Terry Moore that's different. But anyway, this book, it ended on a very good note, and it was satisfying. So overall, if you like Swamp Thing and you want a fresh take on it, this was very much an earned series that was awesome. And I love the script for it. It was just a really, really, really well done script that does expand your mind, was quite spiritual, and even leaves space for a continuation too, as smart writers do. So number 16, not sad to see it go just because it went out so well, but I'm happy that now I'm sure they're going to give Ron V another project at DC, and I can't wait to see what.
I mean, the only good thing is if he didn't do another thing, he could focus more on the books he's doing, or detective. He could make that better than it already is. Keep continuing to make it better. Same with I don't know how long Carnage is going. I mean, Carnage, it just had issue 5. It didn't end. I'm so used to these series where they end like after 5 issue Marvel, but I forgot. Like, wait, it's not an old creator. It's not Peter David. It's actually like a current writer.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, to see Ron V doing Carnage is actually been interesting because I read Maximum Carnage, Cletus Cassidy, but it's not Cletus Cassidy Carnage. It's a symbiote by itself, and Ram V's bringing a different take to it. Mm-hmm. So. Say what you want. People hate symbiotes. Maybe this will make you like symbiotes. His take on it.
Maybe, just maybe.
I mean, I say if you get a good writer, sometimes they can take the most hated characters and make them better.
They can. You just gotta give them the space and the opportunity to do it, and then editorial still be an editor. Just be a good editor and don't choke them out. Let their creative voice.
Sean Gordon Murphy did that to Harley Quinn in his Murphyverse. I never thought I'd hear Ash say, "Oh, that was a great Harley Quinn book." Did it?
And yet he did. But then again, it was attached to Sean Gordon Murphy, and Ash is a Sean Gordon Murphy stan. Like he can't do anything.
It's confirmed. You can't teach an old brain new tricks.
He says, "Nah, I still hate symbiotes." That's funny. Well, if we're talking about things that attach to people's bodies, I sure would like to be a symbiote in Joanna's world. Gun Honey, Blood for Blood, issue number 1, second installment of Gun Honey, Adam Hughes cover.
It doesn't look like an Adam Hughes cover to me because I'm used to like not the side profile like that, the gun block in it.
You're used to like 3/4 or full frontal.
I'm used to the Power Girl ones.
The Power Girl cover. Of course, the Power Girl as well. Yeah, I mean, I almost didn't think it was Adam Hughes cover either because of the composition. But then I looked a little closer and I looked at all the details, and especially like around the outlines and then the face and stuff like that. And of course I was like, yeah, no, that's definitely Adam Hughes, especially the highlights and lowlights on the outlines. He has a very specific touch with that. And then of course, where is his AH on here? He kind of hit it on here. Where is it? There. Okay. It's right there on the box.
Oh, right there.
Yep. I mean, they went right back into the world. It's just as fun. It's just as sexy. It's just as adventurous. It's just as pulpy.
Yeah.
All of the thing, and the writing and the plot is like, it's not. It's complex, but it's not convoluted. So it's easy to follow along, and it's compelling. They tied in things from the last series to continue this one on from here. So it's awesome. The art again just takes me back to, it doesn't look exactly like art from the 80s and 90s, but it feels that way a little bit, and the coloring evokes some of it while still being modern. But it's just straight up like a fun, you know, action espionage pulp comic through and through. No, like no filler, like not diluted at all, straight from concentrate.
I didn't get
All
any
killer, no
sense.
thriller.
Yeah, I didn't get a sense of any preachy message here. I know the other one was kind of like it was up in the air because the girl, because immediately she sleeps with a girl. She's a lesbian. Some people I don't like that because we're used to
Really?
that where if we throw characters in there, and I don't know. There are so many triggers for individuals.
That I mean, that didn't check out really much differently from when I used to watch like Skinamax stuff. Like it's like racy B movie style. I mean, and I mean, like everybody's got their own sensitivity
Yeah,
to wherever, but I try not to let like my whatever biases I have and stuff like that. I try to check them at the door when I read books. If someone's super aggressive with it, then yeah, like they're trying to force that in. So of course I'm going to be onto it. But with like if it's just here or there, you know what I mean? Like I try to check my
yeah.
biases at the door because otherwise it's gonna be really hard for me to enjoy some of these stories that I want to enjoy. So yeah, like a lesbian sexy. I mean, it was literally only one throughout the whole run. So, and it wasn't even push. It was literally that's it. And literally she did that and she like used her. She
But
literally used her
I
just to
know,
get the keys
but
to get into the thing. I mean, like I don't know.
like I said, I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying I saw the weird takes on it, and people were just like, "Oh, look, of course, there's another gay scene in there." It's like that's the world we live in. You deny it; it exists. It's been there.
Yeah.
It's just that. Well, I true there is a big push to make make people maybe accept it. But at this point, it's like going to Los Angeles. You're gonna see stuff, and after a while you live there, you get used to it.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, I mean, I watched Poison Ivy and some of those other things, like
Yeah,
like that's not anything that I hadn't
yeah.
seen when I was
And
you know too young to see it,
well,
pretty
the thing
much. So
I appreciate about this because it's not an already a character that's been changed to be that way.
yeah,
This
it's an original character.
Yeah, it's original character. So, alrighty, no Mac issues today.
Back, nope, I didn't grab any back issues.
All right,
All new comics, so it's on you, sir.
alrighty. I'm gonna start off with my least favorite book, and I hate this because this is actually a book I actually kind of like. You know, let's see here, and this is Red Hood. I got this cover because this is probably the best you're gonna see from this actual entire series so far. It's a new creative story, but I mean it's not. I prefer Sean Gordon Murphy actually writing it, and not loaning out the people to write it. I know people say, "Well, he's the one that chose because he trusts this person." I maybe after this issue it'll get better, but the first issue I just couldn't get into it. The second issue I liked it a little more, and I'm not anti Jason Todd. It's just like I'm just okay. Well, how is this going to tie into that? Obviously, I'm thinking this is going to tie into the main series, along with Batman Beyond and stuff like that, because Red Hood is in there. He's working as a guard, so now basically this is a prequel story. I'm assuming that's what I'm guessing because at this point I have no idea where in the timeline it is. It's kind of here. It's jumping all over the place, but we already know there's another Robin. There's a girl here. Basically she's her father, her grandfather ran a dojo and stuff like that. So it's still kind of creative, but it's just not the same as when you get Sean Gordon if you're writing the book. So I'm gonna try and stick with it. But I do love this cover though. This is an alternative cover. I'm not sure.
That is a dope cover. Who did the cover?
This I'm not aware of.
Most of the time on
It's
the
the B cover.
oh, okay, yeah, on the Black Label books they don't always say on the front, but on the regular ones they do.
Yeah, because Sean does the main cover.
Hmm.
Let's see here. And there's two artists on this. Page 1 through 20 is George Combatis, and then Simone D. Mail does 21 through 24.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, because there's a flashback in that one,
Yeah,
and they had Simone do it.
that's why I was wondering like why did the art just changed?
Yeah, it changed, but
I didn't realize.
they yeah, and Simone does his own coloring, so even the colors change.
I know this isn't the 125 variant cover, but it says for a variant cover is Jim Chung and David Ramos.
Okay.
But um, the character there's a new girl here. She wanted to be a Robin. Maybe because she's tired. She saw that there's no Batman right now, and crime's getting away, and she just wanted to help out her community. She's always been about that. So she's kind of a noob. And I know people are like, "Oh, there's a girl in the ramen costume." Other people quick, "Oh, she's a Mary Sue," but she wasn't though. She actually could not do a lot of things. She had a fear of stuff. She didn't really adapt well. Actually, she ran into Jason Todd, who actually had Jason Todd. In this story, basically decided that he wasn't going to. The Joker basically said the Joker killing him. The Joker never killed him. That was the big thing. So he's been on his own, living on his own, and he was just upset because Bruce never came looking for him. But he basically reluctantly forms a bond with her. These two, and he trains her, and they end up going against Silencer. If you remember who's and not, I think his name is not the it's not the chick that we normally see with from the Longbow Hunters, whatever that was.
Mm-hmm.
This is the guy from Batman Beyond. You can see some of the art here.
There we go.
Yeah. And so yeah, so it basically, hopefully, that's going to be there's going to be like I said, I hope it gets better. But this is some of the artwork in the back. I mean, I love the art.
Dope.
That's cool. So that's one of the reasons why it's at the top, because it's just not up to what I've been used to reading it. It's still a good story. Remember, none of my books in here are crappy books. Yeah, I read books in here basically because I figured I always buy the books that I still like. It's just that I like some of the books in here. I like it more. So that's at the bottom of the pile right now. All right. Next book is Nyx. A character who was brought back to life by Christopher Priest, who was originally killed off by another writer. They created her. She was brought back in Sacred 6. And ever since then, I started reading this. This is issue 9. I was wondering, why is she back? But we find out there's more to her. She's basically a half-breed. She's half demon, half human. Her mortal side now, she's basically struggling to go against her father, who is the Mad Chaos Demon. She ends up getting stuck raising her half-siblings, but the problem is that she doesn't want her half-siblings to go through the torment that she did, which made her do all these evil things. So she's trying to... Bear with me. It's another redemption arc. I know. Because she was just remorseless in the original series, Adventures of Vampirella. So it's gotten better. I don't want to say what happens, but I'm just saying there's a lot more action. The kids are growing up because they're demons. So they grow faster. And let's hoping that it keeps going this way, because the last couple of issues were just kind of like, holy crap, what is this? And I'll show you some of the art here. Like and all. So
nice.
Yeah. I love the fact that her form though, the Nyx, she's basically like a Human Torch. That's her demon side. Flame, just pure flame all the time. My only problem is that for whatever reason she has the Justin Bieber haircut. So I was like,
I like the pixie cut. It's cute.
And she's got like the rogue with the bomber jacket with the Emma Frost like outfit. So it's a little different from I used to. But like I said, the last couple of issues haven't been that good, but this issue actually got a little better. More so that I'm actually looking forward to the next issue.
Still Christos Gage, right?
I believe so. Yep. I usually like Christos Gage stuff, so like I said, it's weird reading this character. Because she's basically was a villain of Vampirella. Mm-hmm. So I'm reading a villain that like murdered tons of people. It's like Joker, basically like, I just want to be good now.
Right.
It's weird. It's new, I guess. DC, don't get any ideas. I know we got the Mark Silvestri to team up with the Joker, but don't get any ideas. I'm
Don't give
here,
him any.
Batman. Yeah. As Mariah says, Nyx is basically Rogue meets Emma Frost meets current Carol Danvers in terms of character design. True. And I believe that's Steven Segovia art in there on the interior. Actually, no, it's Mark Borstel. I'm not sure if that's actually anybody famous. Letter is Taylor Esposito. For you, Skip. Letter.
Yeah, I love my letters, man.
Now, this is Tom Sinetsky. Thomas Sinetsky, the guy who did Defense of Vampirella. For the next one, Panther. Which I've actually been going back and reading the original Harris books where they introduced Panther. The whole character was where she's cursed by by one of the Egyptian gods, who basically took on the form of a panther because she basically tricked the god and killed a bunch of. She was originally a queen. They killed. She didn't want. There was a prophecy that she was going to lose her royalty status to one of her offsprings. So she basically had all the firstborn males killed, and the goddess who basically found out about this cursed her into that form. So she's stuck, basically playing over the events of her decisions every time she goes to sleep. So it's Thomas Sygotsky and Janine Atkinson with David Main and Igor Lima are the artists. And Desi Cienti is a letterer.
Okay.
It's actually a pretty good book. I mean, and this is kind of cool. It's talking about the Egyptians' gods. So I mean, like, which really helps is that we watched. Was it what's his name? We just watched that show on Disney Plus. Moon Knight.
Moon Knight. Oh yeah, right.
He talks about the Egyptian gods, and the Egyptian gods are being hunted by. Basically, the Egyptian god created all the other gods, and he created like humanity stuff, and according to this lore, and he was going to create the world from from darkness, but instead he changed his mind, cast out what he was the first thing he created, and hid it because gods don't. Clear to them, the Egyptian gods hide their mistakes, so nobody else knows. Also, they learn from it themselves, and he made everything from light. Well, now that darkness creature wants control of everything, and it's hunting down the gods. And basically, and like I said, I'm just loving the art in this book going through here. Dynamite and Boom Studios have some good art.
They do, yeah. Good shading, good colors.
I said for interior stuff, it's actually pretty cool. We always talk about the cheesecake cover and stuff, but I actually need good interior art too. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So
good sequential good sequential storytelling too. I liked some of the creative panels.
Yeah.
That they had in the page that you just showed.
That's what I couldn't. She was cursed by Bastet. Yes. Okay. But Bastet was revealed in the series. The reason that Panther is called on to go against that first demon or whatever creature, it's because Bastet said she's weak without her power as her curse, because she basically put her ferocious her abilities into Panther. So when the monster came to abduct the Bastet, she's like, "You idiot! You just took me, but you'll never have my power. My power is somewhere else." So it's pretty good. And there's a House of Woe. I'm not sure if that's canon and anything else, but the House of Woe is kind of it used to be a goddess. She was basically the goddess of just helping other people and stuff. But over the years, she adapted herself into a house, so people live in there. I'm like, I don't know if this is new or old, but stealing ideas from DC, because it's between time and the void. That's where it's hiding out the house. I was like, really? Yeah. And there's a guy there who's supposed to be the original Egyptian god of fear. He's now the owner of the house, caretaker, and he has all these black cats. So the first thing I thought was evil black cat. Tons of them in the house. Creepy.
Evil black cat would be so flattered.
All right. Vampirella Strikes. This has actually been a pretty good series. It's getting better and better. The first one issues, some of the other books, started off weak. I don't think, Breen, you're reading this anymore. You said you read the first one. I think you noped out after that. This continues at the after events Adventures of Vampirella, which came back in 2019, which was 25 years later, the continuing of the original story that Tom Sinofsky wrote in basically over in Harris comic books. Vampirella is basically brought into, she's working with the janitor. There's a new society where the humans, what's left, because basically the goddess Nyx just had killed Vampirella and basically took over like the whole entire like the world for 25 years. Then she was killed by Vampirella, and Vampirella was resurrected. Now the remaining ghouls and humans are trying to basically work together, but this demon who basically from hell is brought these weapons that even hell does not want anybody to have. They couldn't destroy them. They were created a long time ago, and it's giving to the mortals that are pissed off, or it basically it's a gun. It's a hybrid gun. It morphs into your body and it fires living bullets, like kind of like beetles that bury into your skin and kill you, and eat you on the inside. And he's basically preying on the people that were victims of when Nyx took over and basically slaughtered a bunch of people in the world. So he's preying on their grief and feeding off of it. So I mean, you get some cool scenes in here too. One of the bad girls gets shot. She gets shot by a bullet.
Mm-hmm.
But the action's picking up in it now. But it's on issue 4, and usually these only go for 5 issues, 6 if you're lucky. So I'm hoping that it actually goes to 6 because if it ends next issue, it's like, wow, it's gonna be rushed. All right,
crossed.
Right, almost to the top 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're at 8 right now. Scorch, fun book. What's great about this book is that I just realized that they're the mutants, and there's these giant sentinel demons like killer hunters that are going to try to kill the spawns. Now it makes sense why there's been so many X-Men variant covers. Literally.
They're not being so subtle with their connections, are they?
Yeah. Let me see if they show it here. In the very beginning, you can see there's a giant, these giant creatures.
Sentinels.
Yes. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? I didn't dawn on me until I'm like, it's scanning them. It's like scanning. We know who this person is. And I was like, are you what? See how it scans them?
Yeah.
Tells you who they are. Mm-hmm. Which is also really cool for people who don't know the characters before this, don't know their past stuff. You know their names. Wow. The art here too is pretty good too. I like this. So basically, we're trying to figure out in this whole series. They're going against this creature. It's basically the Black Plague spawn, which I find out it goes back to like the 1500s. I find out that the Black Plague that went through Europe was actually a demon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was going into people and feeding on them, like a spawn symbiotes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
and
a parasite.
Yeah, we learn about the guy, the medieval guy, was actually an orphan kid that was basically like his brother had just died of the plague. He was brought in by the Pope. They turned him into like this fighting machine to go against the Black Plague.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting back information about that, and it's just a fun book. Like, you know, you see him on his horse. That's the medieval knight on his horse going right through one of the heads of the sentinel things, and then kills the spawn. Dope.
Yeah, I mean, for people that are not satisfied with the mainline X-Men continuity that they're getting at Marvel, they got House of 92. They got some of the stuff that Ann Nocenti and Chris Claremont is doing, and they also have this. So it's good to have some options.
And like I said, this is a book I never really would have picked up because it's a Spawn book. Mm-hmm. When I realized that they were actually just doing anything but Spawn, the main character, because I'm not the only one. I've talked to other people who are reading this book and we're reading some of the other stuff. They said Al Simmons is a dick. Like, there's no way he is a likable character. I mean, maybe back in the day he was different, but current Al Simmons in the King Spawn and all stuff, he is just a tool. Like, I don't know what. We still don't know what his plans are revealed, but all we know is that from this book is that one of the people in here had a vision of basically one of the spawns betraying that, and it's revealed that it's actually the main spawn. That Al's gonna they basically betray them all.
Okay.
Before we were believed that was She Spawn, and She Spawn actually has actually gotten a lot better. So she started off as, if you all remember in the movie, she's the one that actually killed Al.
Mm-hmm.
The
The old movie from the 90s.
was it Michael Sheen or Martin Sheen?
Martin Sheen, yeah.
All right. 1, 2, 3. All right. Yeah, we're on issue now 6. Ram V Carnage. This is the book I like I said, this is the book I originally, David Michelin was started, and then Ram V, I guess, took over, which I didn't know until the second issue. I was like, wait, I said Dave was on this. So then again, I might have gotten confused because David Michelin was also writing Venom. So maybe I got to get
Lethal Protector.
Yeah, Lethal Protectors. But this is an interesting series because this, like I said, this isn't Carnage with Cletus Cassidy in here. It's actually the Spawn symbiote is basically deciding it's tired. It's shed itself of Cletus. It doesn't no longer want Cletus at all. Cletus held it back. It just wants carnage, chaos. That's all it wants to do. Go around and just murder. Senseless. It's basically and then this cop basically is forced to basically hunt it down and track it. But the problem is that this cop is also the detective from New York. Starts hearing the voice of Cletus Cassidy in his head after he gets cut by the base of the symbiote. Is also the symbiote's also basically not really bonding with, but he's basically been taking this guy. He's basically, what's his name here? The detective's name is basically here. Says here's the synopsis. Carnage is loose, rejected by its former host. Cletus Cassidy, the Carnage symbiote, is on his own. It has found a disciple and a serial killer, Kenneth Neely. Detective Jonathan Shade is hot on their trail, but after an encounter with Carnage, Shade keeps hearing Cassidy's voice in his head. This takes place after basically where the previous couple of issues, Carnage symbiote stole the powers of Hydro Man and the Spot. So Carnage is wreaking havoc on the dark elf homeworld of the Savart film. But and the question is, but who is Carnage hunting next, and how does it connect to the ancient ritualistic hunt the elves themselves are taking on? So this is the main bad guy here, the killer, and then this is another elf you find out that basically is kind of similar to him. He was deformed and weak and stuff, and he ends up bonding with the serial killer and tracking down the Carnage symbiote, only to be betrayed. But like I said, if you like gore and mayhem and stuff, like this, you like the Carnage symbiote stuff, you're gonna like this book. I mean, it's just been fun. So I'm not gonna spoil any more of this. I would say definitely check it out if you haven't.
And you're correct on issue number 1. There was an expanded creative team. Michelini was on there, Mana, even Ron Lim from Sacramento.
See, I knew there was something.
Yeah. And so what book number are you on now?
This is my top 5 now. I'm going to my 5. That was number 6.
Okay, that was number 6.
Yep.
Okay, cool. As you get that ready, I just want to shout out Undead Quinn. His number 7 book was Book of Shadows number 2.
Sure. Let's catch up on his.
Yeah, and let's see. Then he also had book number 6 was Bunny Mask, The Hollow Inside number 4.
Come on.
He had book number 5 was White Knight Presents Red Hood number 2. So he's got that in his top 5. Book number 4 was Robin number 17, and I believe that was the last issue in that series. That's concluded that one. And all right, RDV. And number 3, Deadly Class 55 was his number 3 book.
Nice.
RDV, you are up for your number 5, top 5.
Number
RDV,
5.
here we go.
Number 5 is a book. The first issue I didn't know what I was getting into. Second issue tied to a retrospective we did with the Incredible Hulk and the Bachelor Party. This is issue 2 of Peter David's Genis-Vell, Captain Marvel.
Okay.
The reason I say it ties into it because we're basically Death, who had basically shown up at the wedding of Rick Jones in a wedding. She left the hairbrush. Actually, is in need. She needs help from Marlo and Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel, who's just come back to life along with Rick Jones. They were previously dead, and Marlo was kidnapped. And Rick Jones, who just came back to life, was kind of he's been dead for the past 2 years. He's trying to get his affairs in life. He was talking to a therapist because that's what people do now. Meanwhile, Captain Marvel, without his nega bands, they're called the nega bands.
Mm-hmm.
He can't control his powers.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to have the nega bands on in order to control him. Otherwise, he basically get a nuclear meltdown, whatever, basically, which he does in the previous issue. He's fighting. He runs into this Skrull lady who was posing as Thanos because she's there to record him to help him because she needs help to basically protect Death or save Death, who's been captured by the Kree world.
Mm-hmm.
We see here is that at this point, for those who don't remember, Marlo had left with a Moondragon, even though she's married to Rick, and they're hanging out. I don't know if they're a couple. Eric Brink can talk about that. I'm not sure you're talking about this. It's not. If you're talking about this being a filler, it's not. Yeah, it's basically takes in between a couple of events that were back in Peter David's original run. That's why it's going to tie in a few things. But so it's kind of cool to see new characters in here. Maybe some that I don't know if this Skrull lady basically has the power of this gem over her. It appeared in the original Peter David run, but now I actually want to go back and read some of this. But and then this is the kicker here. See you later, Ash. The nega bands for 2 years. Yeah.
Just in case he didn't see it.
Oh yeah. So the nega bands, we're trying to figure out where they are, and then they're in a plot here. He has plants growing out of them. That's the most powerful objects in the universe. He's going to grow plants. He puts them on, he bangs them together like he normally does, and then all of a sudden, while they're fighting, because Captain Marvel was going against the Skrull warship that was there to basically capture them. He gets power back, and he's like, holy crap! I'm back to being A-okay. Now, the only thing that's confusing about this book is why we need to see Captain Marvel in here. The current Captain Marvel. Mm-hmm. I mean, was she Captain Marvel this time? It says Carol Danvers, so I imagine she was just binary.
She was either binary or Miss Marvel at that time.
But it says Carol Danvers, current Captain Marvel.
Oh,
so,
interesting.
Which really weird. Yeah. And then so basically she's there hanging out with Phyla. Maybe they were talking about Phyla, because Phyla's there, and but then again, probably not Marvel, but she's like, Phyla, he's like, you okay? She's like, somebody smashed the nega bands together. I had to go check out. As far as I know, she had no connection to the nega bands.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Not that I know of.
But she goes off to look for Rick. I said it's if you like Space Wars, I know Zach will probably like this. Zach likes the Guardian of the Galaxy stuff, all the intergalactic.
I love cosmic stuff, and Captain Marvel is one of my, Marvel is one of my favorites. I was close to purchasing that series because I really enjoy Peter David, but I just never got into to Genis-Vell, so I was like, I don't know.
Either I heard of him. I was like, oh, he's the guy that took over. He took the base of the name from Monica Rambeau. So I was like, I don't care for him.
Yeah, but the way you're speaking about it, I mean, it's all tying together well enough to.
Yeah.
I mean, I really should have just pulled the trigger. I'm pretty into the Peter David verse inside of Marvel, so I should just commit to all of it. I still got to go back and get some of those Maestro books that he recently did.
Yeah. All right, and yeah, so I mean that's pretty much. Like I said, this is a book I kind of really didn't expect to like. First issue was kind of like I had no idea what to expect because I never read this stuff. But when I saw like, oh, Death talks to like Marla, she's like, wait, you're my wedding. She's like, yeah, the hairbrush, a brush of death, a brush with death,
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
And Death jokes about it.
Of
So.
course.
All right, so that was my number 5. My number 4 is a book that's actually just been getting better and better as I read it. Public Domain.
Hey.
Oh, have you read this?
I read issue number 1 and I really liked it, but I decided that I'm going to well, actually now because that's issue number 3, so I can go back and I can get issue number 2 for $1.99.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna be one issue behind on it.
But there's a line in here it just floored me. I was like, I'm sold. I want the next one.
Yeah.
When you read it though, I like everything about what's in there. I don't know, but the art is good. I mean, it's decent. It's not what I would really expect. From Marvel DC, but it screams indie when I see this.
Yeah. It's I mean, yeah, it's Chip Zdarsky doing his Chip Zdarsky art, so it's basic. I mean, it's serviceable, but it's not great. But
a lot of
the
bright
job
colors. That's also it's a lot of bright colors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like you said, when you let me know when you read it, we'll talk about it.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll just be a month behind because I'm trying to cut down my comics budget, so I'm gonna do digital, and I'm just gonna do the $1.99 once it's a month behind.
All right. So this is a book here. The next one is my number 3. This is a book that basically has been it's another book. This is out of my wheelhouse. This is not, especially with current Marvel. If I would have read a book about this character, it would have been the 90s because this is Larry Hama with Wolverine patch, final issue, number 5. Wraps up kind of nicely. We basically get a good Nick Fury. Usually, when I bring I was like, are they going to just do white Nick Fury dirty because you can't make him better than the original? Or sorry, it's not the original, but the current. People today, they're like, oh, what are you talking about? Samuel Jackson's always been like, no, the Nick Fury. Like, no, there's one before him. Yeah, Wolverine doesn't smoke in this. Okay. It kind of annoys me, but I can get past it because this book is just off the walls. Just Wolverine being Wolverine. Wolverine just taking on mandroids. Even Russian mandroids in this.
Nice.
Getting shot, and healing, and just the bad guys getting what comes to them in the end.
Getting their comeuppance.
Yep. Wolverine and it's a little. The ending is a little plot convenient, but as far as how it ties up, but I like this. I'm just loving Wolverine.
Yeah.
So definitely check this series out. There was only one line in here, and that was in the second issue, talking about the small child's has no gender. She's whatever, gender fluid or whatever. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. I know that's cool. But going on from that, there's no other mention of that. The Russians are dirty Russians. The Chinese or whatever the Kong are dirty too. It's like the bad guys are the bad guys. They might be a little cliche, but man, what movie even from the 40s or 50s wasn't cliche where the bad guys were bad guys and the good guy was just so good.
Right.
Wolverine shows that he has a huge heart. And he identifies with these Russians mutants. They're basically just trying to live peacefully. They just want to get away. Nick Fury, we're not sure what's going on with him. If he seems like he wants the control of the Russians too, but we're not sure. Read the end, and you'll find out exactly what happens with the fate of these Russian mutants. And Wolverine.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, my number 2 actually is Gun Honey. I was torn because my number 1 book, I liked it too, but I was like, I like the other one is a little better, but I'm not going to open. I don't really want to open the book because you might see something in here that, well, I'm trying to find a page that doesn't have nudity.
There's like a half of page. There's a few panels.
Yeah. There is a Conan sighting because she goes to a Hollywood studio.
That was one of my favorite parts. That was really cool how she had to run through a studio and we see like He-Man and Conan and even like the wizard dude.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, that was a cool way to
the
drop
cover
some
issue
childhood Easter
lot.
eggs.
So
yes, plenty of covers.
And just the advertise on the back here.
Yep, the finest kind of pulp noir, Ed Brubaker.
If you disagree with Ed Brubaker, wow, I think I gotta take away your criminal cast membership, Breen.
Can't do that.
Your members only genetically handed over.
You've been barred. All right, Undead Quinn got number 2 as Farmhand number 20. Very nice. All of the build-ups in 20 issues worth of reading to the death of the character hits at all the right spots. Yeah, I've been hearing great things about Farmhand. I feel like I need to go back and actually read Chew first, and then I'll probably dive into Farmhand digitals.
You know what's funny? Because every time I hear Farmhand, I kept thinking of the other one with the lumberjack superhero.
Oh, the Frontiersman? Is that what it was?
I got confused. I was like, wow, he's really taking that. I mean, I got the first 2 issues of that, but I was like, you're still going?
Yeah, no, totally different one.
I just want to quickly show up. I did get the other cover.
Okay, so you got an art germ as well. Very
nice.
Yeah,
it was there at the other shop.
Mm-hmm.
So
I had the art germ on there because it was cover A, but I think I ended up taking art germ off completely. But I can, if I find it, I'll grab it because a few of the ones that I have on here, I didn't realize are like shop exclusives that I'm probably not going to get because I'm not paying $20 and $30 for those. Number 1 book of the week. I'll just do Undead Quinn's first. I don't think anybody else was actually doing anything as far as their list. And those for you actually, feel free to post what you got this week, what your top 5 is. And for those of you watching on the repeat, put it in the comments. Let me know. I want to know what you guys got, because obviously we all agree to like different things. There's nothing wrong. If you thought you have a book in here that's better than mine, I want to know. I want to know what it is. Farmhand. I mean, that's not my top 5. It's cool to see this. People are reading this. So you had Swamp Thing, on there. I mean, that's a book I want to get because it's Ron V. But I've just been trying to get all these other books done and then go over there once it's done, and I can just binge read through it a couple times, and just at my leisure, kind of like. So, yeah. His so Undead Quinn is saying Swamp Thing number 16. What can I say? What was said by Skipitosh. That's right, Quinn. Such a good book.
The fact that you also have a number 1, Undead Quinn, makes me want to read it more. See,
it's good.
Two people are
really good.
People are liking this series, Mm-hmm. And speaking of V, it is just a fun. If I could play the kazoo boy saying that, I would do it.
Fun.
The art in this is just great. I mean, we talk about rain.
Yep.
Wow, that is cool. I mean, I like some of the older school, like the FF and some of the other ones. When you had rain, the puddles and stuff in the streets, Kirby did some of that. It is like here, like you see it in this. You see some of that, the water puddling. That is just cool.
That's Danny. I love Danny. I'm glad Danny is getting more exposure because
Yeah.
she's been a really interesting and good artist. She uses a lot of negative space. She's dope. I didn't read the backup story because I don't know. I didn't care about
The
first
art's
Asperger,
extraordinary
but
on the
I
backup
looked at it.
story, dude. it's it's not wasn't my first go to, but now I'm looking at and then this is the main art.
Yes.
Look at that. That is just awesome.
Yeah, that is a really, really awesome.
I mean, I'd shit my pants if Batman pulled me up like that and looked at me and I was like, dude, I'm I'll never do it again.
Yeah, I'm
And then he
sorry.
fucks up.
Oh,
It even this with the burning house, the burning warehouse. That's cool.
hmm
It's like I said, it is just a fun book. The chorus though, Tom Peasant has to make an entry. Ugh.
Yeah.
If I could rip that page out without having else on the back that's important, I would do it. Oh wait, I can. I can take one page out.
You could.
Oh, but not the other page.
Yeah.
I mean, if this was somebody else, I'd totally read it. That's cool. But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. Undead Quinn. Good question. No Deadly Class RDV?
I am buying the books. So they're gonna be fresh reads to me. I'm gonna be reading those giant books.
Okay,
I am caught up
so
though.
you
I am
stopped
caught up.
buying the
I am caught up.
floppies?
I
Okay.
I am caught up though. I've been reading
hmm
digitally, so I am buying them as the volumes I can. I
Okay.
almost got the volume 2, the compendium thing this week,
hmm
but I decided not to because something else caught my eye, and it was kind of cool. I'll show that in a few minutes. Another book that came out this week, and this was, I mean, normally I wouldn't pay $7 for a DC comic book, but even though it's a reprint, this is cool.
Yes.
The full book is not just the Batman story; it's everything in
It's
here.
got the ads
Yeah,
and all of that.
and this is the old school paper, like the '90s trades.
hmm
Yeah, talk about it. All the stories in here. So I mean, this is cool for Golden Age. I couldn't pass it up. Look at the stuff they in the back there. Blank cartridge pistols.
Yep. Crazy to see some of the stuff that was sold back in the
It
day.
is. It's cool.
In comics. Yep. Couldn't do that these days.
If Batman told me to give up all my cheesecake, including Harry's Vampirella, I would. What was that? Step 2? We just take the batarang, kill myself. Oh, thank you. I am not. I will not. Batman will have to kill me. No, thank you. But I mean, that's just. I mean, I love the fact they use like the newspaper kind of paper here. It's not that glossy. It's like it's
Right.
that newspaper feeling. Really
It was
cool.
a nice touch. Yeah, I got my copy as well. I just didn't talk about it. I
Oh,
mean, yeah, because it's like a reprint. I was like, oh, back issues. Like, yeah, technically it's a back issue, but
yeah, it is. I mean, maybe some people have that in trade that just the Batman story, but I was like for 10/27 came out. Eric probably has that book, the original print.
yeah, it probably does.
If the original print, if I had it, I would never take it out. It'd be sealed, vacuum sealed. I would never want to, take it out. I'd be
Oh,
afraid
yeah.
it'd fall apart. 1930 is it 1939 or 37?
I think it was 38.
30. Let me see. Actually, it's on the cover. I think it's 39. May 1939.
That's crazy.
So, all right. So we're getting into the back gears, and then I got a couple more books I got to show you guys they got from the Ease auction. But so it's a little longer today.
I got something to show too.
Go ahead if you want
to go.
Let me get to these next 3 books, and I'll let you go.
You got it.
All right. So the next book is a book I was talking to Skip about. I was just flabbergasted. I'd never heard about this book, and no one told me about it. You guys know I like cheesecake, and you just denied me it. Jungle Girl.
Yes.
Frank Cho, 2007. But wait, there's more.
Oh, okay.
Issue
Got
3
another one.
of season 3. There's 3 volumes. And then, because I like Vampirella, I got the quarterly.
Heck yeah, nice.
That is from 2007. Joshua. Yeah, Steven Segovia is doing the art too.
Oh, hey, Steven Segovia.
Yeah, I was like, dude,
Yeah.
this is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all right, you're gonna say something about Undead Quinn?
Oh yeah, he's preaching the gospel over here, Coffin Bound. That's the book right there, man. Oh gosh.
That is okay, not the publisher, the book. Okay, I always get confused with
Mm-hmm.
the publisher
Oh no. Yeah.
because the guy
No.
who wrote created Lady Death is doing his own publishing. I think it's called Coffin Bound Comics.
Oh, okay, right on.
Yeah, so I was
Yeah.
like, how is there not a lawsuit? Then again, I don't know who was there first. Maybe they just don't know about each other. Maybe it's just because one's smaller printer than the other one. But
Yeah. And I mean, there probably ain't enough money to
so,
sue anybody over anyway. You can do a cease and
so
desist, but
Skip, I want to show you this book. This book I got.
yeah, what you got?
It's really hot right now. It's just
Okay.
on fire. It is just a book that a lot of people would want, and I got the compendium. It comes with the first 12 issues. Press a prelude.
Okay. Please don't start a fire. Okay, you got firepower. HG. Nice. Very,
That
very
is just
nice.
awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, like I
Man.
said, that is just a cool.
I gotta get mine. I
Oh,
gotta get mine.
it's been there at the shop just taunting. It's like, when are you gonna buy me? When are you gonna buy me?
And this week
And,
was the week.
and you and Zach buying Firepower every week. It's just like, you know what? I've read the first 12 issues. I mean, I'm pretty much caught up except for 4 issues, but like, I don't have the physical copies, so I'm going through and just buying all the physical copies as far as
Mhm.
volume trades. Uh, I mean, I can read them through Comixology, which I've been reading some of them on there.
Mhm.
But wow, and like I said, it's an awesome book.
It is. I'm glad you got it in with the big old fat oversized art too.
Oh, how could you not?
Mhm.
I mean, these are great for when I get Breen's age. I can just open them up and the print's big.
This is true. It'll be easier for you to read.
All right, so I'll let you go.
Oh, okay. All right.
So
So mine is actually not a book, and I was really close to showing it earlier when you were showing a certain comic that had a certain character in it, but
certain cheesecake.
a certain cheesecake. But I did get this yesterday on New Comic Day, so I think
All
that
right, go ahead.
was interesting. Oh, Undead Quinn says Coffin Bound was closest take of Sandman I've read. You know, that makes sense. I can understand that, especially with how literary it was and whatnot. It was very much that. It was just a fantastic series all around, and there's more depth and philosophy in that book than in half the comics that have come out since then. Hey Tristan, thanks for joining us. But yeah, I went
Hey, it's
over
interesting.
to my parents' house, and my mother was like, "Hey, I got something for you." And I was like, "Oh, really?" Yeah, just out of nowhere, she was like, "Yeah, here you go." So she hands me this
What?
box, and I'm like, "Okay, well, I mean, I know that this is a watch," but then I open it up, and I see
It's Marvel.
it says Marvel on it, and I was like, "Okay, well,
Uh,
what could possibly be
is that a
inside
Red
of
Skull
here?"
watch? Hail Hydra.
What?
I saw
Oh,
the
that'd
eagle
be
on there.
awesome, dude. If that was a Hydra watch, like the one that
The,
a Hawkeye had to get in a series, that'd be awesome. But no, I got
wow,
it.
that is just crazy. And
Yeah.
it's Thanos,
Yep, it's the Infinity Gauntlet going around. You see the different colors of the
and it has
different
the Laker colors,
stones.
of course.
Mhm. Those are King's colors, baby. What you talking
I
about?
know.
You see this? You
Yeah,
see
that's just
this?
gold.
Heck, you even see this.
Well, I see gold. That's what the Kings don't have.
I see gold. Oh, we got one of those. Eric Breen will tell you, but we only got one. The Lakers got more, but there you go. I figure I'll put it a little closer and
Nice.
let you guys see
Yeah, that is cool.
the definition, all the little rubies and the different stones and stuff in it. But yeah, I was
Well,
pretty.
see, we're Rob from the Extreme Movie Show. That's
Hey,
really a top 10 list of comics.
we got a few people in
Technically,
there.
I don't want to do the top 10s, Rob. That's always is you and E's thing. I love the top fives. It's so much harder to like narrow down what you like the most out of five. A 10 I could do easily, but that five, it's like oof, it just gets like you like so many books, especially like I do. Um, I really got to work to narrow it down. But Rob, if you actually start reading some books or comic books, man, come on the channel. Even if you want to talk some TV show stuff, we can do some on here too. So check out the Extreme Movie Show and check out that fancy watch, man.
There we go. I turned up my screen brightness so I can kind
And
of
now I can see it. That is just awesome, dude.
Yeah. So it's pretty dope. You can see
never
like
wearing that in public though.
what are you talking about? I'm going around in public and I'm like, you will bow to me, Thanos.
Well,
your benevolent leader.
It's not a Rolex, but still, it's like I'd be afraid of getting mugged for it.
It's pretty gaudy. It is pretty gaudy. I'm gonna wear it to King's games for sure.
They left his Nikes there, but they went for his.
yeah. They left. See, that's even worse because I usually like at King's games I wear my my Wakanda Forever Adidas. So they're just gonna be targeting me. But yeah, I figured I'd show this. This is only the second time I've opened it up since I got it. So I figured
you should dress up in a nice suit and then wear that at the King's.
Ooh, bro. See, that's the other thing that's cool too. Like when if I gotta go somewhere and I gotta dress up and I gotta grab my watch. Like, okay, well I can wear my, and they're like, oh, that's a pretty nice watch. I'm like,
what is that leather for the strap?
No, the strap is the cheapest part. It's like kind of feels plasticky. Like I don't know. The feels like the same material that's like on like
back in the day. little
yeah, no, it feels like that, but obviously it's thicker because it has to be.
Yeah.
You know, but no, it very much feels like that material.
That's my only thing is like, so especially some of those watches they have like the cloth or those, if it ever the stitch comes down or whatever, it's like you can't replace it. Casio watches, I can just get another rubber cheapie,
Right, exactly. But
and
yeah, that's what I had to show.
That would be great if that was a pocket watch.
Oh, dude, if it was a pocket watch, that would be rad.
Look, you can swing around and hit people with it if you need something.
Yeah, I could use it as a weapon. This thing, I mean, it's really thick. It does feel like I could use this. Like
I feel like you're gonna call a Gordon, Power Rangers, bro.
I could.
It's like,
Zordon, we need
that is
your
just
help.
like ridiculously like it looks heavy.
It is heavy. Like when I took it out, I was like, "Oh my god!" Like even right now, when I turn it over, like you can feel the weight on it. It's pretty good. Skip also wears his lottery participants forever King's kit.
Oh my gosh! Oh.
Hey, there's always people down to kick you when you're already on the ground. Thanks, Breen. Yeah. I appreciate you, MKF30. I appreciate you. The
Mortal
King's
Kombat. I guess his full name is Mortal Kombat Fan 30.
Mortal Kombat Fan 30. Hey, that's a good game to be a fan of. I'm more of a Street Fighter person myself.
I didn't realize until somebody says like, no, it's Mortal Kombat. I'm like, oh, the LA Con. I don't look at.
Oh yeah, really. I actually see it. Yeah.
Everybody has photos on there, and sometimes they're just so small you can't tell what they are.
Right. Yeah.
Sometimes. But
thanks, Tristan. I appreciate the compliment. Yeah, mom done right by me. What she usually does. She knows what I like. I'm a simple man. Comics and kings.
I thought you're gonna come on and be like, she found this comic I had from a very long time ago. It's looking never.
No, it's funny. I do have she doesn't have any of my comics. I got all of my comics from over there. So
I was gonna say like she just finds one in the storage. It's like a number one. It's like worth like.
Hey, if she did, she would let me know. That's for sure.
I mean, you started collecting comic books in the mid '90s or late '90s?
Early '90s.
Early '90s. So
yep, '91.
Even some of those '90 books, because there's a Marvel movie coming out or whatever it is, just shoots up in value. Look at the Weasel. Suicide Squad.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, it's true.
I prefer Mortal Wombat myself.
Mortal Wombat. Nice, Marania.
Well, that's Australia. Yeah, they always have that every day. Daily challenge.
True.
Oh, run this dingo.
You said run this dingo.
Actually, now that I think about it, what's worse over there, the government or all the dangerous animals?
The kangaroos.
Your freedom being taken away or being murdered? Because now they're hand in hand.
Take your pick. They got those crazy spiders too.
Oh, I think it was Australia. One year, either Australia or somewhere in Europe, they had all these spider or silkworms that covered all the cars because the silkworms were so bad. They just covered it. Looked like King of the Spiders. There's this spider web everywhere, but it was all
seriously?
silk. Yeah. I was
Oh,
watching
that's
on
crazy.
YouTube with my niece, like, and we were just watching this video. I was like, "No, thank you. Somebody let's light a flame. Burn it." Uh,
Good old Australia.
oh, it's your birthday number. I was wondering if it was the year you're born. I was like saying, like, wow, 1930, bro. All right, and also the number he wore when he played baseball. So I do. Before I get in the books I got from the Ease auction, I went to. I noticed that I believe it was either West Thinking Critical or it might have been Perch. Was talking about Walmart. They're coming out with these things. These back with the books. Hold on, let me go over. Switch myself over. Yeah, they're doing this again, bringing books back with little figurines.
Ah, right on.
And they're punch out books apparently, so you can page puncher. So you can. I don't know if that means you can punch out like stuff, perforated stuff out of the book. I hope not. But it's Jeff Johns, Andy Kubert, Flashpoint #1. I never read it, so it's the full comic book, so that's kind of cool. That's what the back looks like. So
that's dope. Nice pickup.
Yeah.
How much did those run?
I'm trying to think. Maybe $6 or $7. I'm not sure.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't really look at the price. I just kind of like, you know what? I got the money. I'll just kind of grab it. It wasn't $20 or like that though. It wasn't that bad.
Okay.
All right. Jeff Lowe, Jim Lee, and Batman.
Very nice.
608. So that was kind of cool. And these are by McFarlane.
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah. These are through McFarlane. DC McFarlane Toys. And then we have this is cool. And I know sadly Ash isn't watching, but
oh yeah, he dig that.
DC Universe
his Rebirth Superman.
Yeah.
But who doesn't, right?
I mean, I don't care about the little toys. The little toys are like whatever. But I mean, I like they look cool. You can hang them up on your wall. You know what you want to do with them, or you can read the book and just pop it back in there because it has a little punch thing. So it's kind of cool. And this has a little tape you can put on the side. So they're cool for collectability.
That's rad.
I mean, and now the kid who's buying this is gonna like, that toy that ties that toy. It's like the size of it's 2 Legos next together. It's crap, But to me, you're buying it for the comic book. If they really put a toy in there, no one would actually play with the comic book. No one would read the comic book. It'd be like, you give it those giant ones,
right?
But it is cool that they're actually doing it. I know they've done this before, but I mean, it's cool to see that they're actually like attempting to get new readers. Because all the other ones complain about they don't like their books. No, it's good.
Yeah, you gotta go for it. You gotta get new readers in.
All right, got some books here. These are from Ease Auction. Now, see if any more comments at all.
No. Our Following Toys is reissuing the Superpowers action figures, which look very close to the originals, if a bit more badass. Nice.
All right. Starting off the books I get from I Love Comics auction every Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Ooh, very nice.
Anytime you have Spider-Man and Wolverine together, I haven't read this yet, but I mean, I think it's going to be a good story. Silver Surfer, Comet Man, and Captain Ultra. Back when books were $1.25. Eric Larson and Terry Austin do the cover on that book. So but here's X-Men Havoc. So
dope.
Here is the next issue of that, or one of the issues. X-Men's Havoc, number 31. Previous issue was number 29.
Sweet.
There's Wolverine again, issue 46. Marvel Comics presents Wolverine. So, all right, another Wolverine, 51. So, and this is plus it has three more all new features. So, for $1.25.
Can't beat that price.
53 of that Wolverine.
Okay.
And then we get 55 Wolverine versus the Incredible Hulk.
Rad.
All right. Here is number 5 of that series. I know, but I love the art on the face of Wolverine with the horn stuff.
Mm-hmm.
People are like, "Oh, that's just Batman."
Right. The whole like two Batman facing each other thing equals one Wolverine.
Cyclops.
Oh, Cyclops. Okay.
Yep. I have the Marvel Legends figurine of this.
Yeah, the very first Cyclops figure that I ever owned was that version, right before it was the Jim Lee one.
Codename Danger. Cheesecake.
The cheesy of the cakeys.
That's number 1.
Very cool.
And then we got some more of my Deathstroke Terminator added to the collection by Marv Wolfman. So
Sweet. Back when he was the Terminator still.
and what's this? Oh yeah, female vigilante. Yep.
Oh, well, so that's Vigilante, but when the character was it was a female version of.
There was a male version, and then there was a female took up the role.
Okay, gotcha.
So
Did not know that.
yep. And here is this is the issue before that, number 10.
Oh yeah, see, yeah, even more, yeah, because that I can actually see the front, and it very much looks like the Vigilante
Yeah.
costume.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
Adding to my Huntress collection, which I just started a couple weeks ago. And number 6, which I didn't have, so I'm filling in the run, the gaps that I have.
Okay.
All right, New 52, Superman Unchained.
Okay, doing the Unchained bit, huh?
And this was $5. New 52. Number 1.
Oh, okay.
And look who's by, bro.
Yeah, it's not Ryder. Did Jim Lee actually finish drawing that series, or did he give up halfway through that one too?
I have no idea. I mean, it's he's on issue 2 though.
Okay, he made it to 2.
I know. Usually they have like they start out the first issue and then they're gone, or 2 or 3.
Yeah.
You know, and he's on issue 3.
Okay. The hat trick.
Yeah. So Unchained has been one of the, I guess I've been praised to be one of the best Superman stories. They came after Post Crisis in the new 52. So, all right, 331 Amazing Spider-Man with Punisher. Yep.
Nice.
Yep. So. Some more Havoc, issue 24,
Okay.
featuring Cyclops. All right, and then here's issue 25 of that.
Rip.
And then finally, number 10, Fastball Special.
Ah, the good old fastball special.
Yep.
Breen, I, Mysterio, approve of Skip's snark. Thank you, kind sir.
I'm glad you didn't say Snarf.
I do have the gauntlet after all. Don't make me snap.
Undead Quinn saying that he did 5 issues. I guess he's referring to Jim Lee. Let's see here. McFarlane are awesome figures. They make current wave of the Mortal Kombat figures, even Spawn and Joker from it too, which is cool. Says MK. Before that, Marani is saying the Punch-Out books are trying to cross over a few markets: the toy collectors, kids, and the comic book collectors. So it's a solid idea. She follows it up with McFarlane can basically up to a point absorb the cost of manufacturing figurines, which can cost a minimum of $100K to $500K, depending on articulation, not counting deco and specific tooling each. Cool. All right. So that's all I got for today. Unless you got something else.
Nope, I don't. It's close for me to get out of here. Oh, Undead Quinn says that Jim Lee did 5 issues of that Superman Unchained. So
Okay.
Thanks for the heads up on that, Undead Quinn.
All
And thanks
right.
for posting all your books too. It was good to see those. It was inspiration for me to go back and like knock out Chew so I can check out Farmhand because I had been seeing it so many times and being like, man, I want to get into this, but just been like, treading water on it.
All right. So that's it for the night. Also want to give you guys a heads up. There is a shift change as far as shows. Retrospective is not tonight. It will be tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern. And we have a new special guest host because unfortunately, Zach had a departure from the channel for personal reasons. We wish him all the best in whatever he does, and hopefully gets everything that he's doing on the side, works out for him. But we're not sure who the mystery guest is. You'll find out tomorrow at 7 p.m. All I know it's going to be me and Breen talking about Captain America, his return, the Avengers #4. When he joins the Avengers. Yes, so tune in for that. There should be a comic book reading tomorrow, hopefully. And then there's also a She-Hulk review with the puppets. And I believe there might be a Sandman review with Dalton and Puppetine sometime tomorrow. Not sure what I Love Comics is doing over there, but he usually reads a reading. But this week he's not doing a reading. He was talking about celebrating Jack Kirby's birthday, but it may move to Sunday. We'll find out. Thank you for showing up. And if you want to support the channel, if you look right across, Kofi link is going across here. $1 or more can help us get better material, better equipment, helps pay for like microphones, webcam stuff, or even just the Marvel DC apps that the channel uses for reading stuff. I hope you guys had fun, and please click like and please leave a comment. So far, only one person has been leaving a comment. It's usually myself or Rafe, and just saying hi to each other. That's all you need to do. All right. Have a good night, guys. And thank you, Skip, for joining us. And thank you, everyone, for sticking with us. It's kind of cool to see more than just me and Skip here.
Thanks for joining, everyone.
Yep. And also, subscribe if you haven't, because there might be more stuff. And you'll see, hey, you know what, though? Man, if I could find that in digital, we'd be doing a Space Lady reading.
You actually would be. You really would be.
It just looks so much fun. Oh, man. All right. Good night, guys.